So it's time for me to read to you again from my very special copy of Jonathan Livingston Seagull. Today we are going to be traversing the path of Shin, which is purification by fire. The path of Shin is between Malkuth and Hod. It is elemental fire, and the card Judgment in the major arcana of the tarot. Most importantly, Shin is the perpetual intelligence, which regulates the motions of the sun and moon in their proper order, each in an orbit convenient for it. The divine flame burns within my soul. Now I'm going to read from Psalm 119. First, let's take some deep breaths. Let's do 5. Inhale. And hold. And exhale. 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 And inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And hold. 2, 3, 4. And exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Rulers persecute me without cause, but my heart trembles at your word. I rejoice in your promise like one who finds great spoil. I hate and detest falsehood, but I love your law. 7 times a day I praise you for your righteous laws. Great peace have those who love your law, and nothing can make them stumble. I wait for your salvation, Lord, and I follow your commands. I obey your statutes, for I love them greatly. I obey your precepts and your statutes, for all my ways are known to you. In your eyes really quick. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Windows to the soul, right? So, how has your journey been so far? Really? That's good to know. Yeah, just look right here. Right. So today you're going to be going from Malkuth to Hod. This trek may or may not be any more treacherous than the path from Malkuth to Yesod, which you already experienced, right? Just right here. We're going to be going through the Temple of Fire. And there will be tests for you to complete. So, first look over here. Right. Switch sides. You are walking in the darkness, down into the cave. This is the same cave as before, but we're going to branch off a slightly different path. We're going to go towards the volcano instead of down into the earth. And what you have to understand about this volcano is it is the home to a divine presence, a divine and purifying spirit, if you will. Now, each person, as they encounter this deity, will learn its true name. I can't tell you that yet. But you're walking down into this cave, and it's quite dark, but from ahead of you, down in the tunnels, you do see a faint orange glow. Right now you're also rather cold, but that will change soon as well. You come upon the first guardian of the temple, and he asks you your name. Wait before you answer. Do you answer honestly? Is it correct for you to answer honestly? Now, really think about it. You don't know this guy. He could be anyone, honestly. He's wearing tattered, dirty rags of clothes. How do you know? What distinguishing features does this guardian have that helps you recognize that he doesn't indeed belong here, and he does indeed hold the authority that he claims? How do you know? Do you try to walk around him? Do you ask him for his credentials? Do you give him a fake name? Do you give him a nickname? I'm going to leave that up to you. Whatever you told him, he's allowing you to pass. You keep walking toward the source of the faint glow and the radiating heat. It's getting a little bit warmer now. And there are many twists and turns in this cave where once lava flowed out of the hillside when the pressure was extreme. The main place for lava to come out of the volcano you saw way off in the distance when you were outside of the cave. This is a serpentine, winding path that when pressure builds up inside the Earth's crust too much, the lava must flow out through another pathway. And you come around a bend. And you encounter another guardian. And this guardian is dressed a little less casually. You can see that he's holding a big stick with sharp spikes driven through it for protection and motivation. His clothes are slightly less dirty and less torn. And this guardian asks you, what is your greatest accomplishment? Wait, you don't have to answer just yet. I want you to really think about it. If you can't come up with a single accomplishment, it's okay to have a few. It's also okay to consider an entire path to something, an accomplishment. Whether that was a college education, or your current line of work, your current job position, or it could even be a game you like to play. I'll give you a moment to answer. Alright. Now he wants to know your second biggest accomplishment. And it seems as though your answer has sufficed. He will let you walk through. And it's getting very hot now. It's getting a lot hotter. And you can see the glow becoming more intense as you walk through the tunnel. And you round a corner and almost run directly into the next guardian. Right here. And this guardian asks you, so this guardian now actually carries a firearm. Not a big one, but he's wearing blue jeans and a hip holster. And you can see a 9mm pistol in the holster. But he's not pointing it at you. He doesn't have it in his hand yet. But this guardian, oh yes, by all means, if you are too concerned for your safety, you may at any time turn back and leave the cave. Neither of the guardians will stop you on the way out. But if you do choose to continue, this guardian asks you about your greatest regret. Oh, really? I mean, I certainly don't judge. But this guardian puts a hand on his pistol and he asks, what is it that causes you to regret that so much? This guardian keeps a hand on his pistol, but he waves to you motions that you can go through. It's getting very hot now. You've taken your shirt off, and you're using it. Yeah, right up here. Using it to mop your face and mop the sweat from your torso. And as you mop the sweat off of your body, you continue walking toward the source of the heat. Your throat is getting parched and dry now. And you realize that you didn't bring any water on this excursion. And that perhaps that could be a fatal mistake. We've now reached the inner chamber of the temple, and there's a great wall of pure molten rock that drips directly into the floor. And directly in front of you, ringed by a group in robes, 12 people wearing dark hooded robes. You see that there is this pit in the middle of the floor where magma is also bubbling up. And you see them walk slowly towards you. Your throat is so parched. And you're so hot that you think your blood will boil and all of your cells will burst. You will just liquefy and melt right into the floor of this chamber. You can't understand how these robed figures can stand to be wearing these thick, dark, woolen garments. So hot. Look right up here for me. Right up here. And they get slowly closer to you. But you're too exhausted to backtrack, to turn around, to run. And they envelop you in their midst and pick you up. You realize that they are going to cast you into this pit of fire. You don't even have the strength to struggle or to cry out. As they drop you into the pit, your flesh is seared completely away. Even your skeleton is melted. The rock is so hot. You have become completely incorporated into this molten rock. And through this alchemical process, become a being of divine flame. And you feel yourself rise out of the pit as this great plume of steam, white light. You have sublimated everything that you once were has been melted away, and now there's room for nothing inside but the new purity of divine white light. You float away from the pit. You float up through the wall of molten magma. You travel up through its currents, out through the seeping pore in the earth that is the volcano. And you ooze gently down the mountainside. And once you reach the place where the magma starts to cool, there's a lone figure there. Covered in wings. So covered in wings that you can't even see the extent of his figure. His figure is shrouded. And you realize that he's holding something. It is a pure white linen robe. And look over here. Right here. You slowly take form out of the steam. First, this glowing, ethereal body, gradually taking more and more substance as your body cools. And the figure hands you this white linen robe. It's a very fine, soft fabric. And you feel so pure and so clean as you put it on. And this winged figure leads you over to another facet of the mountain. You ask, "Where am I?" Where is this place that gets so hot? And he replies that you are on the surface of the planet Mercury. And you see before you an orange door. On this door are two squares set at right angles to each other so that they form an 8-sided figure. You know that you have arrived at the Temple of Hod. Thank you so much for joining me today for this pathworking exercise. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe. Tell me down in the comments what you liked about it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate your company, and I look forward to seeing you again